my dots would be all over the place because there's no relationship. Okay? So if there is a relationship, it's going to be a line. If there's not a relationship, they're going to be all over the place. Now, we're going to do how to do this in our calculator. The first page of your blue tells us the directions. So this is, and you're going to be overwhelmed at first, I promise you. But we're going to do so many of these, it's going to be a piece of cake. So this is your blue, just hit clear. This is your blue paper. Yeah, just hit clear. Now, on your blue paper, and I'm going to pull up your actual blue paper. It's not clearing? Hold on, I'll work on it. Okay, you're good. I just had to hit quit. On your blue paper, at the top of the blue paper, right here in the box, is the 8 steps that we're going to have to do an entire problem. Now, I'm not going to make you do an entire problem right now. We're just going to go through the baby steps. So this is like the chapters, the titles of what we're going to be doing. So underneath here, preparing your calculator. Okay, that's step 1. And then step 2, beginning steps. Step 3, entering the data. So I gave you the title and then I told you what to do. I gave you the title and I told you what to do. I gave you the title and I told you what to do. So up here is just the titles. Down here is the titles and what to do. Now, thank goodness the tutoring room has put, since we can't use our personal calculators anymore, they have put something on your calculators, a program called Fix Calc. So we no longer have to do this anymore. We do something called Fix Calc. So we don't have to do these individual steps anymore. So when you go into the tutoring room, you're going to hit the program button, and then you're going to choose Fix Calc, and then you're going to hit enter, enter. I don't think mine has it on here, and I'm not sure the computers have it on there, but let me double check. Program, yeah, mine doesn't have it on there. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to program, hit the program button. There's the program button. And the only program that's going to be listed is Fix Calc. So you're going to get on top of it, and you're going to hit enter to choose it, and then you're going to hit enter to do it. And it's just going to say Fix Calc done. Okay? Now, my people that are using the computer one, here is what you're going to have to do, just because ours doesn't have the Fix Calc. You're going to go through these steps, and it's not hard. Okay? Here's what you're going to do. We are going to turn our diagnostic on. And this is what Fix Calc does. We're going to turn our diagnostic on. We're going to hit second and the 0 button. Second and the 0 button. So we're going to go second and the 0 button. And y'all, this is cool for anybody. Catalog. Your calculator has a table of contents, an index. If you hit second 0, it lists everything your calculator does in alphabetical order. Cool. Now, notice that your calculator has ABCs. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We want to get to diagnostic on, and I'm too lazy to scroll, so I hit the button with a D on it, and it will automatically go to the Ds. And then I just have to scroll till I get to diagnostic on. Diagnostic on. I hit enter to choose it and enter to do it. Okay? You don't have to do this if you have a real calculator. I go second 0, I go down to diagnostic on, I hit enter, enter. That's step number 1. Step number 2, let me clear this out so that I can have it pretty. So I did second 0, went down to diagnostic, got to diagnostic on, hit enter, enter. Then I go to second, and this is what I'm doing, and then in parentheses is how I do it. I go to second window, So second window, and I want to get the independent variable in ask mode. So I go second window, and I want the independent variable to be in ask mode. So once the independent variable is in ask mode, I highlight it. Oops. Let me get it when it's blinking. So that's the second thing. So the first thing was to do diagnostic on. The second thing was to put the independent variable in ask mode. And fixed calc does all of this. And the last thing, it was my first thing. And the last thing is to go to stat edit number 5. So stat, and then go down to number 5. Stat number 5. That's the setup editor. And hit enter. Stat number 5. So those are the 3 things you have to do by hand if you're using it on the calculator.
And we
So-
only have to do it once?
Yes, you'll only have to do it once on your personal calculator, and then when you go to testing, you'll have to do it once in there, because you don't know if it's been done or not, because you don't know you're using your calculator.
So you would pull that in the best?
All you're going to do is do fixed calc. It's either fixed calc or that. So because you have fixed calc, all you have to do is fixed calc and you're done. The people that are using the computer, they don't have fixed calc on theirs, so they have to do those steps. We good? All right. Now, I don't have room right here, so let me pull up. Yeah, back in the day, you have to do all those steps. So I'm glad that they let us use fixed calc now. Okay, now these are what I call the Germex steps. You must do every time you start a problem. It seems overwhelming, but I promise I'm going to make it as easy as I can. Okay? Every time you go on a date, you got to clean yourself. You're going to clean every part that has been touched by a previous problem. These are my Germex steps. Okay? So step number 1, this is what we're doing, and this is how we do it. We go to y equals.
Did we clear out where we had the fixed count?
It doesn't matter, you can. You go to y equals, so you hit the y equals button. The y equals button is right up underneath your screen. You go to the y equals button, you scroll up to where it says plot 1. And you hit enter and scroll back down. Now, if somebody's been playing with your calculator and has plot 2 and plot 3 on, that's going to screw you up. You only want plot 1 on. Plot 1 needs to be black. Now, for those of you who are using your calculator, that's always going to be black until you turn it off. Now, when you go take a test, you're going to have to turn that on. But if you're using your calculator, it's not going to turn back off. So part of your Germex step is just to hit y equals, make sure it's on, and you're done. Now, part 2 is to look at your y's and make sure there's nothing there. So step 1 and step 2 are right there together. Now, for those of you who have had people playing with your calculator, for this first time, you need to make sure you go all the way down to y10 or y0.
I got a 4 where mine says Y3.
You got a who?
4.
Okay, so scroll down to Y3 or wherever and hit clear. Get beside it and hit clear.
Okay.
So you don't want any equations or any numbers all the way down. And some people have one down there that they didn't even see. So if people's been playing, make sure you clear all of those out. Just get beside it and hit clear. So you're really doing step 1 and step 2 at the same time. So step 1 and then step 2 is to make sure that all that is clear. Now, step 3 is to hit second quit. And the reason I tell y'all that is because A lot of y'all get to here and you hit clear and you're like, I can't get out of this screen. There's an escape button on your calculator. The escape button is right here. Second quit, because it's written in blue. So when you do second quit, it just gets you out of the screen. So second quit just gets you out of that screen, and I usually just say clear off the home screen. So second quit gets you back to the home screen, and I just say clear it off while you're there. Now, number 4, CAT stands for catalog. How did we get to the catalog? Second zero. So we're going to do second 0, and we're going to go to clear table. So I'm going to do second 0, and remember, I don't want to scroll all the way down, so I need to hit the button that has a C on it. A, B, C. I just hit that button. I don't have to hit shift or alpha because I'm in ABC mode when I'm in the catalog. So I do second 0, and then I hit the button with the C on it. And I just scroll down until it says clear table. Once I get beside it, I hit enter to choose it, and I hit enter to do it. So you have to hit enter twice. So I did second 0, then I hit the button with the C on it, and then I went down to clear table, and then I hit enter, enter. Enter to choose it, enter to do it. And that gave me this screen. And finally, our last step, we're going to do stat edit. Y'all should know how to do that. Stat edit. Go to the top, clear enter. Go to the top, clear enter. And the reason I do that last is because once you do that, you are ready to enter your data. So these are my Germex steps. Y equals, make sure that's flat, make sure this is empty. Second quit, gets you to your home screen. Second 0, go down to clear table, enter, enter. Stat edit, go to the top, you're ready to enter your problem. Okay? So, we have just done fixed calc. We've done our Germex steps. We're now ready to enter our data. So we're now already at stat edit. And we cleared it out. So we're now there. We're going to do L1 is our X values. L2 is our Y values. So it's like, y'all, I've taken a shower, I've cleaned up, I've Germexed. Now I'm ready to get dressed. I'm ready to put it on. I'm ready to enter my data. So that's the step we're at now. So let's look at a problem. Here's my problem. So we're at the entering the data part. So my X is going to be my L1. My Y is going to be my L2. Now, because these are data are paired, this has to be beside this. This has to be beside this. So if you screw up, you have to make sure they are beside each other. So we have germixed, which we have to do every problem. Then we've gotten dressed, which is putting in our data. This is our X, this is our Y. So L1 is our X, L2 is our Y. And step 4 is the look at me. Zoom 9. Zoom 9 means look at me. I've cleaned myself, I've gotten dressed, now look at me. Zoom 9. So on your calculator, zoom is the middle button below your screen. Zoom 9. Look at me. Love potion number 9. Zoom 9. Oh, I got mine in the wrong plot. Does anybody else's look like that?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's go to second stat plot. All right, I'm gonna go to, see if I can go second step. Oh,
Mine doesn't look like that.
Mine either.
does your scatter plot?
It just says staff plots. Names, ops, math.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on, let me go in there.
You hit
I didn't hit my
second
second first. It's like that. That's what it should look like. I didn't hit my second
Okay,
first.
that's what mine's on.
Okay, I'll come over there. Is that what yours is on?
No.
Okay, hold on, I'm coming. If yours is like that, hit enter. Come down. And once you get on top of the little dots, hit enter.
Oh wait, I got it.
And now do zoom 9. We had it set up for box plots when we were doing that last time. Now do zoom 9.
Is the first one?
Oh, okay.
It's the first one. Let me see where you are. Second stat plot. Now to the first one, now do zoom 9. Zoom 9. Okay, I think your stat plot's not on. Go up to the top, get on top of stat plot, and hit enter to make it black. Okay, now do zoom up. Oh crap, hold on. I got a lot there. Hit enter. Go to your y equals. Okay, go to your plain y equals. Okay, get on top of the plot and hit enter. And now come down. See how it's black? You want that plot to be black. Hold on, let me hit lock.
Excuse me.
Give me just a second, let me hit lock so I don't, can you push that back down, somebody? Yours is perfect, hit zoom 9. Hit, second step plot. Okay, now hit enter. Perfect, hit zoom 9 now. There you go. Anybody else's? Okay, hit second stat plot. Hit enter. Now come down one. Hit enter. Now hit zoom 9. We had it set for box plot. Not, is anybody else's messed up? Okay. Okay, hit second stat plot. Okay, hit enter. Okay, hit enter so we can turn it on. Now you should be fine. Do zoom 9. So what we just did, y'all, is we plugged in all those values of X and all those values of Y. So my first ordered pair is 12, 3.6. My next ordered pair is 3, 4. My next ordered pair is 0, 3.9. And the calculator graphed all of those points for me. So is there a correlation between hours of exercise and GPA?
No.
No. Those points are all over the place. So how many hours you exercise has nothing to do with the grades that you make in class. There's no correlation. So this is the picture that it looks like. We good? All right, let's let you try one. This one says, and I'm going to walk you through it a little bit. This one says we are comparing the chest size of a bear and its weight. So this is going to be your X or your L1, and this is going to be your Y or your L2. So the first thing we need to do is germix.
Oh my God.
You're going on another day all nasty. You got a germix. Go to your Y equals. You don't fix calc, we've already done that. So go to your y equals. You need to make sure your plot one is black. And you need to make sure that there's no equations in your equals. That's step 1 of your Germex. Step 2 of your Germex, did y'all clean yourself?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't clean yourself. You cleared your table.
Yep.
You did your Y1 and you cleared your table and you cleaned the table and then you cleared your data out. Okay, so you're good. Now type in your data. I ain't want you going out stank. They all hot and heavy into that next day.
Can you go over the next thing one more time?
Yes. They're gonna yell at me, but watch this. Hold on, let me see if I can still got it in there. Oh, there they are. So we're gonna go to y equals. And this one is just making sure that your plot 1 is black in your y equals. And you're making sure that all of your y's are blank. That's step 1 and step 2. So go to your y equals, make sure your plot 1 is black, and that all your y equals are empty. And then step 3 is hitting second quit, second in the button right beside it, to get out of the y equals. And then 4 is doing second 0 and coming down to clear table and hitting enter, enter. And then your last step is to do stat edit, scroll up, and hit clear enter. Y'all took a quick bath.
The first one is stat plot.
Stat plot is to make sure that stat plot here, I'll scroll up so they can still see. So your first step is to go to the y equals button, and you are just glancing to make sure that this is black and that these are empty, because as of right now, we haven't messed with them because we haven't finished an entire problem. We will be messing, we haven't gotten hot and heavy on our date yet. Soon we will be getting hot and heavy on our date. Right now, we are just going to coffee. Maybe a movie. So this is step 1, this is step 2. And then step 3 is to hit second quit. Step 4 is to do second 0, go down to clear table. Step 5 is to do stat edit, go to the top, clear enter, go to the top, clear enter. $35, $41, $41. And you always want to make sure those numbers are lined up the way they're supposed to be. Okay, so we typed in our L1, which is the chest, we typed in our L2, which is the weight. And then once our data's in, we've cleaned ourselves, we've gotten dressed, now we're going to look at me. So we're going to do zoom 9. Zoom 9. Is there a relationship between Bear's chest weight and Bear's chest size? Yes. Because it's linear, there is a correlation between weight and chest size. Now, we say that correlation does not imply causality. Just because there's a relationship does not mean that this causes this to happen. So just because there's a relationship between chest size and weight does not mean that the chest size causes the weight to happen. Okay? All right. Now, let's talk for a minute about the correlation. Do we see that these have a strong correlation? They have a strong relationship. They're very linear. These have a semi-correlation. They're kind of sort of linear. These are all over the place. Okay? So we say that these have a strong correlation. These have a moderate correlation. And these have a weak correlation. Now, back in Math 101, we said that, or back in algebra, we said that if a line is going uphill, if you have an algebra car, our algebra car always goes from left to right, just like you read. If your car goes uphill, what kind of slope does it have? Positive. It's uphill. It has a positive slope. So this is said to have a strong positive correlation. So if my mathematical car goes downhill, what kind of correlation does it have?
Negative.
So this would have a strong negative correlation. Now, this one, do you see, is still kind of going uphill, but it's not as strong. So this would be a moderate positive correlation. The next one would be a moderate, so this would be a moderate negative correlation. Now, the next one is kind of all over the place. See how that line is even wider? And this line is even wider. So this one's going to be a weak positive, and this one's going to be a weak negative. So if I go back to the problems that we were doing, I would even say for this one, I can't even look at it and say if it's going uphill or downhill. So I would say this one has no correlation because it's not even going uphill or downhill. If I look at this one, is it a positive or a negative? It's a positive. Is it weak, moderate, or strong? And we're going to talk about how to, I can kind of say, I can kind of put a line sort of kind of through most of those points. I would probably say strong. A positive strong is going uphill and it's kind of linear. Most of those points are on the line except for a couple. Okay. What about, is that all I've done? We do one on that page? Oh, there's one.
So
What
they
is
don't need
this
to be-
one?
They don't need to be an exact straight line, right?
No, not an exact straight line. What is this one?
Strong positive.
Strong positive correlation. Okay? Now, and we're going to be talking too about how to tell exactly how strong it is and how to tell exactly how weak it is. And the way we're going to do that is going to be called the R value. And the R value, and let me see, we can actually do it with a problem that's in here. And it's actually the next step on your paper. Let me pull up your paper. We have cleaned ourselves, we have entered our data, and we've looked at me. And now we go and work it out. After you look in the mirror, you got to work it out. So this is step 5. Step 5 is called finding the regression line or working it out. We're going to do, you know how when we were doing mean, median, and mode, we did stat, calc, one of our stats? We're going to do stat, calc, linear regression. This will be the last thing we do really fast. So, in your calculator, do stat, calc, stat over to calc, and we're not doing one of our stats anymore. We're doing number 4. Number 4 is called linear regression. You hit enter to do it. Now, the first two are going to say L1 and L2, and then everything else after that is going to be blank. So L1, L2, and then blank, blank, calculate.
I don't have the,
Yeah, mine
Is yours just L1, L2?
it just says,
Okay, see if your answers end up looking like mine. Mine just may be a different version. Did your answers end up looking like mine?
I got 12, 1, 4, 5, 8, yeah.
All right, we'll look at this next.